Commander Lisa Blackwell stood frozen at her station on Earth Defense Station Omega. The radar screen in front of her showed something impossible. Hundreds, maybe thousands of ships had just appeared at the edge of the solar system. "Get Admiral Holt on the line now," she ordered, her voice steady despite the fear growing in her chest. The young officer beside her worked quickly. "Connection established, Commander." Lisa took a deep breath. "Admiral, we have a situation. Multiple unknown vessels have appeared near Pluto. Based on size and number, this is not a trading fleet." Admiral Richard Holt's face on the screen grew serious. "Have they responded to standard greeting protocols?" "No, sir. We've tried all frequencies. Nothing but silence." As they spoke, a flash of light appeared on the screen. The monitoring station on Pluto had gone dark. Then another flash near Neptune. "They're attacking our outposts, sir," Lisa said, her fingers flying over the controls to zoom in on the images. "No warning, no demands. I'm calling an emergency meeting. Get to headquarters immediately," Holt ordered. 6 hours later, Lisa sat in a room with Earth's top military leaders. The mood was grim. Frank Winters, their head intelligence analyst, stood at the front of the room, his usual confident smile replaced by a look of concern. "We've identified the ships," Frank said, bringing up images on the main screen. "They match descriptions from distress signals we've received from 17 different star systems over the past decade." He showed them recordings from alien civilizations, each one ending with the same result: complete destruction. Entire planets stripped of resources, populations wiped out. "They call themselves the Valkorian Armada," Frank continued. "Based on their path and speed, they'll reach Earth in 2 weeks. Every civilization they've encountered has been destroyed." The room fell silent as the weight of his words sank in. Admiral Holt finally spoke. "What defense options do we have?" The weapons specialist shook her head. "Our current technology is no match for theirs. The recordings show their ships can absorb energy weapons, and their armor is too thick for our missiles." "There must be something," Lisa said, refusing to accept defeat. Admiral Holt looked at her. "Commander Blackwell, I'm assigning you a special mission. I want you to look into every experimental weapon, every defense system we have, no matter how crazy it might seem. We need options." Lisa nodded. "I'll start right away, sir." 3 days later, Lisa sat alone in a classified records room, surrounded by files of failed weapons programs and theoretical defense systems. Nothing seemed promising. As she was about to give up for the night, a file marked "Classified" Mayras NLMALY caught her eye. Opening it revealed photos of what looked like an ancient building, buried under the red Martian soil. According to the file, a team of archaeologists had found something that challenged everything humans knew about their own history. The structure was built by human hands, but carbon dating put it at over 15,000 years old, long before humans were supposed to have space travel. At the center of the structure was a strange metal sphere covered in unknown markings. Lisa read the Lee archaeologist's notes. "The technology appears far beyond our current capabilities. If we could understand it, it might revolutionize our understanding of human history and capabilities." A plan began forming in Lisa's mind. If this was truly ancient human technology, perhaps it contained knowledge that could help them now. It was a long shot, but they were running out of options. She grabbed the file and rushed to Admiral Holt's office. He listened as she explained her findings, his expression changing from skepticism to cautious hope. "It's not much," he admitted, "but it's something. Take a team to Mars immediately. Find out everything you can about this sphere. Time is running out." As Lisa left to prepare for the mission, reports came in that the alien fleet had already destroyed the defense platforms around Jupiter. Earth had less than a week left. The race against time had begun. The red dust of Mars swirled around Lisa Blackwell as she stepped off the transport ship. After 3 days of travel, she had finally reached the dig site. A tall man in a faded jacket approached her, his beard showing streaks of gray. "Commander Blackwell, I'm Kevin Porter, head archaeologist. We weren't expecting military personnel. Lisa shook his hand firmly. I need to see the sphere immediately. Kevin frowned. That's not possible. We're in the middle of delicate studies. The technology is thousands of years old and extremely fragile. Look up, Lisa said, pointing to the sky. See that bright spot? That's Jupiter's defense station burning. The Valkyrian fleet will reach Earth in 5 days. There won't be any studies to continue if they get to us. Kevin's face paled. Follow me. He led her through a series of tunnels dug into the Martian surface. The walls changed from rough stone to smooth, engineered surfaces that didn't look like anything made by modern humans. This entire structure was buried under 20 meters of soil, Kevin explained. We found it by accident 3 years ago. It's completely changed what we know about human history. They entered a large room where several people were working at different stations. A woman with curly black hair looked up from a computer. This is Olivia Nash, our top linguist, Kevin said. And that's Gary Mitchell, our engineer. Gary, a stocky man with glasses, gave a short wave from where he was examining something on a table. Show her the sphere, Kevin told them. In the center of the room, resting on a special stand, was a perfectly round metal ball about 1 meter across. Its surface was covered in strange markings that seemed to shift in the light. It's beautiful, Lisa whispered. And impossible, Gary added. The metal doesn't match any known element. It doesn't corrode, can't be scratched, and maintains a constant temperature. Olivia stepped forward. The markings are what's really interesting. They're a form of ancient human language, predating any known writing system on Earth by thousands of years. Lisa carefully approached the sphere. Have you figured out what it does? The 3 scientists exchanged looks. We think it's a weapon, Kevin said finally, or some kind of defensive system. The translations mention protection and enemies from beyond repeatedly. Have you activated it? Lisa asked. Gary shook his head. We haven't found a way to turn it on. There's no obvious power source or controls. Lisa's communication device beeped. She read the message and her expression darkened. The Valkyrians have destroyed the Jupiter stations completely. They're moving faster than we expected. Admiral Holt is ordering immediate transport of the sphere to Earth. That's not possible, Kevin protested. We don't know how moving it might affect it. There could be connections to this facility we haven't discovered yet. We don't have a choice, Lisa insisted. If this thing is a weapon, we need it where we can protect it and study it properly. Olivia spoke up, her voice quiet but firm. There's something else you should know. We've translated enough to learn something important. This outpost wasn't built by humans thousands of years ago. It was built for humans. Lisa stared at her. What do you mean? The language refers to humans as the chosen guardians. It suggests we were given this technology by someone else, entrusted with it for a specific purpose. To protect against what? Lisa asked. Olivia looked directly at her. The text mentions the devouring ones who return in cycles to consume worlds. Commander, I think this sphere was left here specifically to fight the aliens that are coming for us now. A heavy silence fell over the room, broken only by another urgent message on Lisa's device. We have less than 72 hours, she said. The aliens have accelerated their approach. We need to get this sphere to Earth now. As if responding to her words, the markings on the sphere briefly glowed blue before fading again. Did you see that? Gary whispered. It's never done that before. Pack it up, Lisa ordered. We're leaving immediately. The underground research facility in Colorado was the most secure place on Earth. Built inside a mountain, its thick walls were designed to survive even nuclear attacks. Now it buzzed with activity as scientists worked desperately to understand the sphere. Lisa watched as Gary Mitchell and a team of engineers carefully placed the sphere on a special platform in the center of the main lab. Dr. Paul Reynolds, the facility director, circled it with obvious excitement. Remarkable, he whispered. Simply remarkable. Olivia Nash worked nearby with her translation tools, occasionally consulting with Kevin Porter as they compared notes on the strange markings. "Any progress?" Lisa asked. Olivia nodded. "We've translated about 30% of the text now. It keeps mentioning something called the network. We think the sphere might be part of a larger system." "What kind of system?" "We're not sure yet," Kevin admitted, "but it seems to be spread throughout the solar system." Harry called them over to his workstation. "I found something that might be an interface port," he said, pointing to a small indentation on the sphere's surface. "The problem is, we can't connect to it. None of our technology is compatible." Dr. Reynolds frowned. "We've tried every connection type known to science. It's like trying to plug a quantum computer into a stone wheel." Lisa's communication device beeped. Admiral Holt's grim face appeared on the small screen. "Commander, we've engaged the first wave of the Valkorian fleet," he reported. "It's not going well. Their weapons cut through our shields like they don't exist. Captain Wright has lost a third of his ships already." "We need more time," Lisa said. "Time is what we don't have," the Admiral replied. "Mars is under attack. Earth is next." The screen went dark. Lisa looked at the scientists, all of whom had heard the exchange. "We need to work faster," she told them. In orbit around Earth, Captain Alan Wright watched as another Earth defense ship exploded. His hands gripped the command chair tightly. "Fire everything we have at the lead ship," he ordered. Missiles and energy beams struck the alien vessel, which barely slowed down. Its strange, curved surface seemed to absorb or deflect everything they threw at it. "No effect, Captain," his weapons officer reported. "Pull back to defensive position, Beta," Wright ordered. "We'll try to slow them down as much as possible." Back in the Colorado facility, tension grew as they heard reports of the battle above. Gary and Dr. Reynolds continued trying different approaches to interface with the sphere, but nothing worked. Olivia suddenly called out from her station. "I've got something." The text mentions a safety measure. It says, "Only the Guardians may awaken the heart." "What does that mean?" Lisa asked. "I think it means the device is locked to respond only to humans," Olivia explained. "It was left for us to use, specifically." Before they could discuss further, alarms blared throughout the facility. "Security breach," a voice announced over the speakers. "Unknown persons have entered Level 3. Lisa received an urgent message from Admiral Holt. "We have a problem. Someone leaked information about the sphere. Multiple government agents are demanding access. They're saying they can't wait for our team to figure it out." "That's all we need," Lisa muttered. "Tell them we're making progress." A young man with dark hair hurried into the lab. "Dr. Nash, I found something important in the translations." "This is Chris Daniels, my assistant," Olivia introduced him. Chris pointed to his screen. "These symbols here match human DNA patterns. It's not just a language. It's encoded with genetic information." Dr. Reynolds looked at the sphere with new understanding. "It's not that our technology isn't compatible. It's that the sphere is designed to interface with us directly, with human biology." Almost without thinking, he reached out and placed his hand on the indentation Gary had identified earlier. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the sphere began to glow with a bright blue light. Holographic displays suddenly filled the air around them, showing star maps and streams of the ancient language. "It worked," Gary shouted. Lisa stared at the displays in wonder. "Now we just need to figure out how to use it." Quickly, Kevin added, looking at the emergency alerts now flooding their screens. "The Valkorian fleet has reached Earth's atmosphere." Holographic stars and planets filled the air around them, casting blue light across the faces of everyone in the room. Dr. Reynolds stood frozen, his hand still connected to the sphere. "I can feel it," he whispered. "It's like it's talking to me, but not with words." Olivia moved closer, studying the symbols floating in the air. "These are star maps. Look, there's our solar system." She pointed to a familiar arrangement of planets. Chris Daniels was typing furiously at his workstation. I'm recording everything. The language patterns are shifting, becoming easier to understand somehow. The facility shook as something exploded above ground. Dust fell from the ceiling. They're attacking the mountain, Lisa said, checking her communication device. Captain Wright reports multiple enemy ships entering the atmosphere. We need to evacuate, said Kevin, looking nervously at the ceiling. No, Lisa decided. We stay with the sphere. It's our only hope now. Dr. Reynolds hadn't moved his hand from the interface. There's so much information flowing through this connection. I see. Instructions. For what? Gary asked. For activation, Reynolds replied, his voice distant, as if he was only partly present in the room. The sphere isn't the weapon. It's a key to something much bigger. Another explosion rocked the facility, stronger than the first. The lights flickered. We're running out of time, Lisa said urgently. What does it want us to do? Reynolds focused on the holographic displays. These symbols indicate additional connection points. The sphere was designed to link with human minds directly. Everyone exchanged worried glances. Is that safe? Kevin asked. We don't have any choice, Reynolds replied. He looked at Lisa. The system was designed for humans, left for us by whoever created this technology. It's waiting for a deeper connection. Lisa's device beeped with an incoming message. Admiral Holt's voice came through, filled with static. Commander, major cities worldwide are under direct attack. Casualties in the millions already. Whatever you're going to do with that thing, do it now. Lisa nodded to Reynolds. Do what you need to do. Reynolds took a deep breath and placed his other hand on a different part of the sphere. The blue glow intensified. Thin metal tendrils emerged from the sphere's surface and gently wrapped around his wrists. Olivia gasped. Should we pull him away? No, Reynolds said quickly. It doesn't hurt. It's creating the neural interface. A holographic display changed, showing complex diagrams of what looked like massive machines hidden throughout the solar system. What are we seeing? Gary asked. A defense network, Reynolds explained, his eyes reflecting the blue light. Installations hidden on planets, moons, and asteroids throughout our solar system. They'd been dormant for thousands of years, waiting for activation. Can you turn them on? Lisa asked. Reynolds nodded slowly. I think so. The sphere is showing me how. More explosions shook the facility. The lights went out completely, leaving only the blue glow of the sphere illuminating their faces. Emergency power failing. A computerized voice announced. Enemy forces have entered the facility, Lisa reported, checking security feeds on her device. They'll reach this level in minutes. I need more time, Reynolds said, his face showing concentration as he worked with the interface. You'll get it, Lisa promised, drawing her weapon. Kevin, Gary, help me barricade the doors. Olivia, Chris, keep working on those translations. She tapped her communication device. This is Commander Blackwell. I need every available security officer at the main lab now. As they rushed to secure the room, Reynolds called out suddenly. I understand now. The sphere recognizes me as human. It's giving me control of the entire network. The holographic display expanded, showing the full extent of the hidden system. Dots of light appeared all across the solar system map. It's working, Reynolds said, his voice filled with wonder. The installations are waking up. The doors to the lab were barricaded with everything they could find. Lisa and 3 security officers stood with weapons ready. The sound of fighting echoed through the hallways outside. How much longer? Lisa called to Reynolds. I'm still figuring this out, he answered, his eyes closed as he communicated with the sphere. There's so much information. Olivia worked frantically at her station. I've translated more text. The sphere wasn't created by humans. We were chosen to guard it. Chosen by who? Kevin asked. An alliance of species, Olivia explained. Thousands of years ago, they fought against the Valkorians. Humans were part of this alliance. That's impossible, Gary said. Humans weren't space travelers that long ago. The records say we were. Olivia insisted. Something happened. A great disaster that forced humans back to Earth, back to the Stone Age. Our history is much longer than we knew. Reynolds suddenly spoke up. She's right. I can see it all through the sphere. The Valkorians have done this before. They travel through the galaxy in cycles, consuming all resources before returning to hibernation. They've done this for millions of years. The Ancient Alliance fought them. Lisa asked. Yes, Reynolds confirmed. And they created this defense network as a failsafe, knowing the Valkorians would return someday. A massive explosion shook the building. Part of the ceiling collapsed in one corner of the lab. We're out of time, Lisa shouted. Whatever you're going to do it now. Chris had been studying the holographic displays. Look at this, he called out. The sphere is showing connection points all over the solar system, but they're all dark except for this one. He pointed to Earth. The network needs to be fully activated, Olivia realized. Dr. Reynolds has only established a partial connection. Reynolds nodded. The sphere is asking for more. It needs a deeper link to activate everything. How? Gary asked. Full neural connection, Reynolds said quietly. It needs to connect directly to my mind. Lisa frowned. Is that safe? Probably not, Reynolds admitted. But what choice do we have? Outside the lab, they heard shouting as the security team engaged with enemy forces. The door shuddered as something heavy slammed against it. Do it, Lisa ordered. Reynolds took a deep breath and spoke words that Olivia had translated earlier. The tendrils around his wrists extended, connecting to his temples. He gasped as blue light flowed through them, into his body. Paul, Kevin shouted in alarm. I'm okay, Reynolds assured them, his voice strangely calm. I can see everything now. The network is vast, much bigger than we imagined. Through the neural connection, Reynolds could see massive installations hidden beneath the surface of planets and moons. Defense platforms buried in Neptune's moon Triton. Thousands of drone ships hidden within Saturn's rings. Enormous cannons deep under the lunar surface. They're all still functioning, he said in wonder. Waiting all this time. The lab door began to buckle as the enemy forces outside hammered against it. Can you activate them? Lisa asked urgently. Reynolds nodded slowly. I think so. The sphere is showing me how. He closed his eyes in concentration. The holographic display suddenly changed, showing red dots representing the Valkorian fleet throughout the solar system. Admiral Holt reports the aliens have broken through Earth's defenses, Lisa said, checking her device. They're landing in major cities worldwide. Almost there, Reynolds whispered. The network is coming online. The sphere pulsed with intense blue light. Reynolds gasped as energy flowed through the connection. It's working, he said, his voice filled with wonder. I can feel the entire network awakening. A holographic display showed green points of light appearing across the solar system, overwhelming the red dots of the Valkorian fleet. What's happening? Gary asked. Reynolds smiled. Humanity's ancient guardians are returning to defend us. The network is active. The door to the lab finally burst open. Lisa raised her weapon, but before she could fire, every light in the facility flickered and came back on. The network is fully online, Reynolds announced. And the Valkorians know it. They're retreating from the facility. What exactly is happening? Lisa asked, watching the holographic display as green lights spread across the solar system. Dr. Reynolds stood motionless, his mind connected to the ancient network through the sphere. The defense system is activating in stages. First, the hidden installations. Then, the weapons platforms. Finally, the drone ships. Gary watched in amazement as the display showed massive structures emerging from beneath the surfaces of distant moons and planets. These things have been hiding in our solar system for thousands of years, and we never knew. Look, Chris pointed at the screen showing a live satellite feed of Neptune. Something enormous was rising from the surface of Triton, one of Neptune's moons. It was a platform at least 5 miles wide, covered in what looked like weapons. Similar structures were appearing throughout the solar system. On Saturn's rings, thousands of small ships were detaching from hiding places within the ice. From beneath the lunar surface, giant cannons extended upward, aiming toward space. The Valkorians are responding, Reynolds reported, his eyes still closed as he processed information through the neural link. They're shifting to defensive formations. They didn't expect this. Lisa's communication device beeped. Admiral Holt's face appeared, showing rare shock. "Commander, what's happening?" "The alien fleet is pulling back from Earth. Our sensors are detecting massive energy signatures throughout the solar system." "The defense network is online, sir," Lisa explained. "Dr. Reynolds has activated an ancient system designed specifically to fight the Valkorians." "It's working perfectly," Reynolds added. "The technology is thousands of years more advanced than either human or Valkorian capabilities." The sphere pulsed with blue light as more information flowed through the connection. "They're trying to communicate with us," Reynolds suddenly announced. "The Valkorians are sending messages." "Can you translate?" Olivia asked. Reynolds nodded. "They're demanding we deactivate what they call the forbidden technology. They sound afraid." "Good," Lisa said firmly. "They should be afraid after what they've done." The holographic display showed the ancient defense platforms engaging the Valkorian fleet. Unlike Earth's weapons, which had barely scratched the alien ships, these ancient weapons cut through the Valkorian defenses with ease. "The system isn't destroying them," Reynolds observed. "It's disabling their ships selectively, taking out weapons and engines, but leaving life support intact." Kevin frowned. "Why not destroy them completely, after what they've done to other worlds?" Through the neural link, Reynolds accessed historical records stored within the network. The Ancient Alliance tried that before. They attempted to wipe out the Valkorians completely, but it failed. Some survived and eventually returned, more aggressive than before. "So what's the alternative?" Lisa asked. "Containment," Reynolds answered. "The network has protocols designed specifically for the Valkorians. It can capture their ships in energy fields and send them to an uninhabited star system, where they can survive without threatening others." Admiral Holt's voice came through Lisa's device again. "Commander, I'm receiving reports from all sectors. The alien advance has completely stopped. Their ships are being systematically disabled throughout the solar system." The facility shook as something happened above ground. Gary checked the security feeds. "It's our ships," he exclaimed. "Earth Defense Forces are landing outside. The aliens are retreating from this area completely." Lisa looked at Reynolds, still connected to the sphere. "How long until the threat is neutralized?" "Hours, not days," he replied. "The network was designed for exactly this situation. It's executing pre-programmed defense protocols." The holographic display showed red dots representing Valkorian ships being surrounded by green fields of energy throughout the solar system. "We're winning," Chris said in disbelief. "Humanity was never supposed to face this threat alone." Olivia realized, looking at her translations. The Alliance knew the Valkorians would return someday. They prepared this defense for us, preserved it for thousands of years until we needed it. Lisa watched as the green lights of the defense network continued to spread, encircling more and more red dots representing the once unstoppable alien armada. "The tables have turned," she said. "Now we need to decide what to do with them when this is over." 3 days after the activation of the ancient defense network, Lisa stood in a special meeting room at Earth Defense Headquarters. Through the large windows, she could see the damaged skyline of the city being rebuilt. In the sky above, strange energy fields contained dozens of disabled Valkorian ships. Admiral Holt addressed the gathered military leaders and scientists. "The threat has been neutralized. Every Valkorian ship in our solar system has been captured by the defense network." Dr. Reynolds sat in a chair nearby, looking tired but stable. The tendrils from the sphere had been safely removed, but he maintained a partial connection that allowed him to monitor the network. "What are our options for the prisoners?" one of the generals asked. Reynolds spoke up. The Ancient Alliance faced this same decision thousands of years ago. They chose containment rather than extermination. "Why?" asked another military leader. "These creatures destroyed 17 civilizations that we know of. They tried to destroy us." Reynolds accessed more information through his link to the sphere. The records show that the Valkorians are driven by biological necessity. Their species consumes resources at an enormous rate. Their hunger is almost programmed into them. "That doesn't excuse genocide," Lisa pointed out. "No," Reynolds agreed. But the Ancient Alliance found that every time they tried to exterminate the Valkorians completely, some would escape and eventually return, more aggressive than before. Containment proved more effective. Olivia, who had been studying the translations intensely, added, "The network includes a containment protocol. It can transport the entire Valkorian fleet to a star system with no inhabited planets. They would have enough resources to survive, but not enough to rebuild their war fleet." Admiral Holt looked around the room. "We need to make a decision. Do we destroy them completely, or do we use this containment protocol?" The room fell silent as everyone considered the choices. Finally, Lisa spoke. "We should use the containment protocol. Not just because it's more effective, but because it shows we're different from them. We can be better than pure destruction." After much debate, Earth's leadership agreed. Dr. Reynolds activated the final stage of the defense network. Across the solar system, the captured Valkorian ships were enveloped in shimmering energy fields. One by one, they disappeared, transported across the galaxy to a distant, uninhabited system. 1 month later, Lisa stood with Kevin, Olivia, Gary, and Chris in the Mars outpost, where the sphere had first been discovered. Dr. Reynolds joined them via holographic projection from Earth, where he continued to study the ancient technology. "The network is fully operational now," Reynolds reported. "We've established monitoring stations to keep watch on the contained Valkorians. They won't threaten anyone again." "What happens now?" Gary asked. Olivia smiled. "We keep exploring this outpost. There's so much more to learn about our past. And our future," Kevin added. "The star maps we found show other worlds where humans once had colonies, places we might visit again." Lisa, now promoted to admiral, nodded. "Earth's first true interstellar ship is already under construction, using technology we've learned from the network. We won't be trapped in this solar system anymore." Through his connection to the sphere, Reynolds had discovered something else, something he hadn't shared with the others yet. The Valkorians weren't the only threat the Ancient Alliance had faced. Something worse had caused humanity's regression from an advanced spacefaring civilization to primitive earthbound societies thousands of years ago. Something that might still exist in the darkness between stars. But that was a problem for another day. Today, they celebrated victory and the rediscovery of humanity's true legacy. They weren't just an emerging species taking their first steps into space. They were the inheritors of an ancient and powerful tradition, chosen guardians of technologies beyond their imagination. As Lisa looked at the star maps showing hundreds of possible destinations, she felt both hope and determination. Humanity had almost lost everything, but instead had found something precious, their forgotten history, and a new future among the stars. Earth was safe, and humanity was finally awakening to its true potential.